You are listening to PastThink.com audiobook. Please like and subscribe, thank you. Chapter 106. Qiao Rui dies, and Qiao Shuang usurps power for 10 years. Faking ill health, Sima Yi sets a trap for Qiao Shuang. Qiao Rui orders Sima Yi to come to court, and then dispatches him to deal with the revolt of the Lord of Liaodong. The enemy really stands very little chance against a commander as skillful as Sima Yi, but the weather, it is autumn, causes many problems for the Wei army, and this leads to dissent. Sima Yi deals with this with severity, showing little mercy. He has, however, the full support and trust of Qiao Rui. When Gongsun Yuan is eventually captured and executed along with his son, Sima Yi rounds up the whole clan and kills them all, over 70 of them. Back in Chang'an, Qiao Rui falls ill. He has been visited by the ghosts of the empress he made commit suicide, and her attendants whom he had killed, and this brings about a collapse in his health. Realizing that the end of his life is drawing near, he appoints one of his relatives, the son of Qiao Jun, Qiao Shuang, to be the regent, as the heir apparent, Qiao Feng, is just 8 years old. Then he summons Sima Yi and appoints him to share in caring for the young king with Qiao Shuang. The young boy is brought in and told to trust Sima Yi and Qiao Shuang. Falling upon his father's neck, the boy weeps and will not let go. And this is how Qiao Rui dies, his son weeping upon his shoulder. He is 36 and has reigned for 13 years. It is not long after the enthronement of the young king that Qiao Shuang begins to usurp the imperial powers. He places his own henchmen in the senior posts, builds himself palaces, steals imperial concubines from the imperial palace, and removes control of the military from Sima Yi. Seeing which way the wind is blowing, Sima Yi retires and, feigning illness, disappears from sight. His sons do likewise. Things go on like this for 10 years. During this time Sima Yi is so invisible Qiao Shuang largely forgets about him, though he always fears him. Anxious suddenly to know whether the man still poses a threat to him, he sends Imperial Inspector Li Xing to visit him. When Sima Yi knows who has come and why, he takes to his bed. He even pretends both that he is hard of hearing, and that his mind is slipping by pretending not to understand anything Li Xing says. Death awaits me, he says as the visitor departs. When Li Xing reports this to Qiao Shuang, he says, so I've nothing to fear, because he's going to die. As soon as Li Xing has gone, Sima Yi rises from his bed, calls his sons to him and says, when Li Xing reports back, Qiao Shuang will no longer worry about me. This means he'll go out hunting with few precautions. That is when we strike. The time comes for the sacrifices to be offered by the young ruler at his father's tomb. The whole court goes out with Qiao Feng and Qiao Shuang to attend the ritual. One official remonstrates, saying that this leaves the capital unattended and thus vulnerable to revolt. And who exactly would lead this? No one, says Qiao Shuang. The who is, of course, Sima Yi. Summoning his old comrades in arms and his 2 sons, he sets out to murder Qiao Shuang. Can Qiao Shuang survive? Well, let's see.